How to use Trello 2023 full in-depth tutorial. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are doing great and are having an amazing and incredible day. I bring you back with yet another video, and in this video we're going to be discussing about Trello and how you can use it as your go-to and very functional, very amazing, and very useful work management program. So we're going to be going through all the different details. I'm going to be showing you how to create different cards, how to create different descriptions for yourself, automations, integrations, how to optimize it for any specific set of workspace, and we're going to be discussing all of that in great detail. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this amazing program. So first of all, without any messing around, you're going to come to Trello.com, okay, and over here, we're going to go ahead and discuss the pricings, okay. Now, once you're in your pricings, you can see over here, Trello Your Way, trusted by millions, etc., etc. Now, there's 4 different plans, the free, standard, premium, enterprise, which is $0, $5, $10, and $17.50. Now, obviously, we're going to be going ahead with the $0 one, and obviously, we're going to be starting off completely free. So, let's just totally start off. You can see the features that all these plans bring you down here, and it's pretty simple to, get your head behind this, but obviously we're going to go ahead and start off with the free one. And once you do that, here it's going to ask you all these things, where you're going to do the sign up and everything. So here, as you can see, it says sign up for your account, enter email. Now, you can use anything. You can use Gmail, Microsoft, Apple, Slack, but you could also use any random email. Now, I'm going to be using a temp mail. You don't necessarily need to follow this step. I'm only doing this because of the video purposes. You can obviously go ahead and use your proper email. So don't necessarily follow this step over here. But once you have added that, you're gonna, as they're asking you to verify yourself. And once you verify yourself, it's gonna ask you to authorize yourself while logging in. And once you're done with all the authorization, it's going to bring you here. So welcome to Trello. Let's go ahead and create your workspace. Okay, so name your workspace, project, or team name. Okay, I'm going to call this John's Workspace. Okay, I'm going to call this. Who's on your team? Enter as many email addresses as you want. Okay, so you can go ahead and start with any number. I'm going to go with, I'm not going to go with any right now because I'm just going to keep it blank. We're going to discuss all the contacts and importing them later on. Right now, let's go ahead and create our workspace without any team members. So once we come here, it says try Trello Premium free for 30 days, and it gives you all these things. I'm going to go ahead and skip it. And once we've skipped it and everything, this is where you're going to arrive. So this is your main basic workspace overview. This is your main dashboard basically, and this is where all the shortcuts exist, and this is where you're gonna start messing around with the different features that Trello actually provides you. And again, it's going to be really simple because as you can see down here, it gives you templates. On the left hand side, you can see all the different things like tasks and the different workspace premium features that you can mess with, like boards, templates, home. You have highlights, different views. Here you can add members, etc., etc. Now, basically, to start yourself off, obviously, once you're in the dashboard, you're going to see something over here where it says create your first board, okay? And obviously, you can go ahead and create your board. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to head over to settings, and we're going to go to workspace settings. And once you're in workspace settings, you can come down here and see all of this over here, okay? And obviously, here you can see a lot of things. So workspace settings, workspace visibility, private. This workspace is private. It's not indexed or visible to those outside the workspace. You can change that if you want to. But as you can see, Slack, workspaces, linking. Link your Slack and Trello workspaces together to collaborate on Trello projects from within Slack. You can also upgrade it to premium for more settings if you want to. Workspace membership restrictions are also available. Anyone can be added to this specific workspace. And you have great board creation restrictions. Any workspace member can create a public board. Any workspace member can create a workspace visible board. And any workspace member can create a private board. The board deletion restrictions are also pretty, vital and viable to remember. And you can see that any workspace member can delete the public boards, any workspace member can delete the workspace visible boards, any workspace member can delete the private boards. Now comes the sharing boards with guests. Anybody can send or receive invitations to boards in this workspace. And Slack workspaces restrictions also work because any workspace member can link and unlink this Trello workspace with Slack workspaces. Now over here, you also have the option, like obviously you can mess around with these things if you upgrade it to premium. I'm going to leave that blank for now. You also have the option to delete your workspace over here. So as you can see, just come over here, click on delete this workspace, and there you go. Your workspace gets totally deleted. And right now, as we can see up here, it says our workspace is totally private because we have no members. So obviously you can invite workspace members by clicking on invite workspace members as so. And down here, you're going to add email addresses or names or all that. So you get the point. And up here, as you can see in workspaces, you can see the different workspaces that you have. So you can have multiple workspaces. The current workspace is obviously John's workspace, but you can have multiple. And in those multiple workspaces, you can have multiple boards for yourself. So obviously we're going to come back to the Trello dashboard and we're going to go ahead and create our first board. So how are you going to create your first board? Down here, you can see all these things, for creating your board. So you're going to come here, click on create new board. And once you click on create new board, first of all, you're going to choose a nice looking background for yourself. Now it could be a solid color as well. If you want to go with that, it could be a gradient, or it could be a picture or photo background, or it could be, totally custom if you want to. I'm going to go with this, let's go with that gradient. And then there's board title. Okay. In the board title, go ahead and add whatever board title suits you best. Whatever board title will work better for the context of what your work management actually is for and what this board title is actually being made for. And by the way, you can also change the theme of this if you want to. Pretty simple stuff. I'm going to bring it back to the original theme. Okay, now I'm going to name this board YouTube content planning. Okay, just as an example, YouTube content planning. And once we do that, then there's the visibility. Now there's obviously private, where only board members can see and edit. Okay. And there's workspace, where all members of the John's workspace can see and edit this board. And then there's public. Anyone on the internet can see this board. Only board members can edit. So I'm going to keep it private for now. And once we keep it private, we have two options. We can either create, which basically just starts it off directly, a blank slate, and then there's start with a template where as it says, you are given the option of starting off with an actual template. So pretty simple stuff. Now once you do create, you're going to come here, and obviously once you're here, you have 3 different cards for yourself. Okay, to do, doing, and done. You could call these lists, you could call these cards, but as you can see, you can move them around as so, freedom of moving them. And pretty nice stuff, pretty fun stuff to do for yourself. And as you can see, just move them around, pretty fun, So, once you get a hang of how things actually work, wait, let me just fix these. Okay, now you can obviously create more cards and you can change the title. So you can change it from to do to, let's say, ideas, for example. And then you just click on enter and it gets implemented. Then let's say filming, enter, there we go. Then you have editing, enter, there we go. Then you like to add another card, you could just click on add another list. And let's say we're going to add a list called publishing. There we go. And obviously you can add more and more lists if you want to, but pretty simple stuff. And in these lists, you're going to add different cards. So to add cards, you're going to click on add a card as so. And cards basically stack up your list. They fill up your list with different, bonds of details and information. So let's say I have a video like the video I'm making right now, Trello in-depth tutorial. Okay, so here's a card, okay, basically. And once this card is made, you can switch this card around wherever you want to. So let's say it's in ideas, you could push it to filming or editing, or if it's done, you can push it to published and, all that. So pretty easy stuff, isn't it? And then you can finally delete it by just right-clicking on it, come here, and, just archive it. And it's going to be deleted. So I'm just going to go ahead, archive, there we go. Now, that's basically one of the things that you can do with, your workspace and all the editorial sequences when it comes to your Trello. So let's go ahead and discuss the different views, okay? So how do you see the different views? To see the different views, like when you're over here, as you can see over here in boards, once you click over here on customize views, you can get a lot of things. So you have the board view, the table, calendar, timeline, dashboard, map. You also have many more views, but for those you have to upgrade Workspace to Premium. See your work in new ways. View key timelines, assignments, data, and more directly from your Trello board with Trello Premium. Okay. Now, obviously, you're gonna want to go ahead and discover these things accordingly to whatever your work is, to whatever pleases you more when it comes to this type of work for you. You can also star your Trello board. Okay, starring your Trello board basically brings it in starred boards, and you can obviously access it much quicker. And because obviously this only is better in that case where you have tons and tons of boards to choose from, and just star a board so you know which board is your favorite and which board you will more likely jump onto. Now, after that, obviously there's more things. Like, let's say on the right hand side, if you go here, you have all these different things. So about this board, where you can add a description to your very own board over here. You have change background. You can change the background if you want to. You can add custom fields for yourself in the field section. Add stickers just to have a good look. And in more, you can see more things like settings, labels, collection, archived items, email to board settings. You have watch, make template, copy board, print and export, all these separate type of things. Then you have automation. Okay, automation is where you can automate cards and do much more for yourself. Again, pretty simple, pretty easy stuff. You have power-ups. Power-ups is basically your integrations. Again, pretty simple stuff to get your head behind. And I'm going to discuss automation and power-ups later on in the video, and I'm going to discuss it in much more detail and depth, so please do make sure to watch it till the end. Now, obviously, once we've discussed about that, then obviously there's a lot of other things, like let's say you archived a few items, you can go on more, and once you click on archived items, let's say I archived this, right? So you can always just unarchive it by clicking on it, and then unarchive it by just clicking on this, and yeah. So pretty simple stuff. And you can send it back to board if you want to. And then if you come back here, you also have the link to this board. So you have a specific link only to this board, which is a pretty good thing to have. You can also print and export if you want to. Close the board, and pretty simple stuff. You can find and reopen closed boards at the bottom of your boards page. Pretty simple. Now, obviously, moving on, let's start making more cards and discussing the inside features of those cards in depth. So again, as I told you, I'm going to go ahead and unarchive this one. I'm going to send it to board as so. Let's bring it back here and let's add another card. Let's add another card like 10 tips for Trello, for example. Okay, there we go. So just keep on adding more and more stuff like this. That's pretty simple to get your head behind. And let's say I'm going to open this card. Okay, now once you open this card, you have things over here. So first of all, you have members. Okay, so in members, like if you go and click on it, you can see over here search members, your John Smith, and show other workspace members, etc., etc. Pretty simple stuff, isn't it? So yeah, you can go ahead and mess around with those, and then you have other members over here. Now, right now, obviously, I'm the only member of my workspace. That's why it's not going to show anyone. But yeah, a member thing is pretty good, and you can just add them by adding more people. Then comes labels. Now, labels are pretty, I would say, labels are pretty necessary because let's say I'm going to make a label called Trello. Click on create a new label. Call it blue, and okay, there's a label now which is Trello that I've created, and I'm gonna give this a label Trello. So everything that has a blue label will be known that okay, this is a Trello video. Or labels could also be used to tell the urgency of something. So let's say I'm gonna create a new label. I'm gonna call it urgent, and obviously an urgent label should have the red color. Click on create, and there we go. So, you get the point. This is what labels do, and I'd say labels are pretty necessary. And then let's say we have a video for Notion, like let's say there's a video called Notion Tips, okay? And let's go ahead and create a label for the Notion. We're going to come here, label, create a label, and let's call this one Notion. So there we go. There's one created for Notion over here. And obviously this is a Trello video, so we're going to add a Trello label. So, just keep on adding labels like this. And the reason we do this is so that our workspace environment and our, working with the people who are in our workspace, that goes well. Now, once, we've done this, you can also add different things. So obviously we talked about members, we talked about labels. Let's talk about checklists. Now, what is a checklist? What does it do for you? Okay, don't worry, it's pretty simple. Let me show you. A checklist is, as it says, a basic checklist. So let's call this a filming checklist, as so. There we go. Add it. And here you have a checklist for, your filming. And now you're going to add options and, fields in it. So let's add the first field. The first field will be called intro. The second field, let's call it explaining Trello. There we go. And we have explaining boards. Okay. And you can have stuff like explaining cards. Just add this stuff. And once you've done adding stuff, there you go. So now you have a checklist. Now, for example, I'm a person in, your workspace, and I come over here in the cards, and I'm like, oh, there's a topic and ideas for Trello. Let's go and check it out. It's urgent. I'm going to click on it, and they're going to see that label shows Trello, and it's urgent. So they're going to come here, and they're going to see the checklist. They're like, okay, intro, yeah, I'm done with that. Explaining Trello, yeah, I'm done with that as well. I'm not done with explaining boards and cards. So he's going to leave those two checklisted, but he's not going to check the other two. So now you see that, checking items will actually, make it pretty easier for you. And it just improves the, you could say, professionality of a workspace. It just, it just makes a workspace look much better and much more professional. And, just improves the work ethic, I'd say. It makes work more efficient, more fluent, and it's just really fun to do this stuff with your page. Now, moving on, you have different stuff like explaining cards, filming, editing, publishing, etc. So all the essentials, all the necessities, but pretty simple stuff. Now, moving on, you also remember when I showed you archived items? Those are also pretty simple to understand and get along with, and you could just see them by going on show menu if you want to. Now let's say I'm going to go ahead and tick all these checklists. Now once you do all that, look at that, it's even going to show you a green thing that, hey, this checklist is done. So let's say me being the manager, if I see that this checklist is actually completed, what I can do is I'm going to be like, okay, this is done, let's move it to filming. And once you move it to filming, you can add more checklists in it that, hey, the idea portion is done, or let's say the filming portion is done, let's move on to editing. So, you get the point. Then you have dates, okay? Now, this is the date section, and obviously you can keep due dates. Now, this is extremely necessary because keeping due dates for a project or an idea or a card is necessary because we need to tell our workspace members when to, provide the project that they're working on, or when to, actually meet the deadline. That just keeps a good, you could say, work ethic. That just keeps a good look out for all the work system. So really important stuff, really necessary stuff to have for your page. So yeah, now moving on, let's say I'm going to go here and I'm going to set a good due date. So the due date is, let's say, 10th of 10th of June. And once we've set it to 10th of June, you're going to set a time, set due date, reminder, save, and there you go. So now you have a due date with a reminder, and you could, change the notifications and stuff. And yeah, so now you have a proper due date. And once you come here, you can also see the due date over here is that, okay, June 10th is the final date. And you can also mark it that, hey, I have met this deadline, we are good to go. And then moving further on, you could see, you have attachments and stuff. You could attach different stuff to it. Now, what do attachments do? Attachments are basically photos that you can attach to, just have a good look and, actually tell your people. So let's say I'm gonna take a photo off of pexels.com and give you an example. So let's say there's this Trello attachment, right? Trello in-depth tutorial. Let's pick up an attachment. I'm just gonna search laptop, okay, and let's find an attachment with a good laptop. Let's go with this. I'm gonna download this, and once this is down, we're gonna come here, okay, click on this, click on attachment. Okay, now you have different options. Okay, you could like paste it from your computer, paste it from your Trello, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, OneDrive, etc., or just paste the link. I'm going to go with computer, okay, and once we go with computer, there you have the image. I'm going to click on it, and as you can see, it starts uploading your file, and once it completely uploads your file, there you have it. So look at that. So you have a proper thing going on right now, and you have the image for it as well. Pretty good stuff, pretty nice stuff to have for your workspace. And obviously this is like a proper cover, okay, and you can choose the cover if you want the cover to be the attachment that you've just attached, or just a solid color, so, or something that they've given you from Unsplash. So it's pretty nice, fun stuff. I would just recommend keeping it a solid color, to be honest. And once we have had the solid color and everything, you could even add stuff in the activity over here. So in the activity, you could add stuff like I've added this attachment, and I can write stuff like, hey, I really like this photo that I've attached, but I would change the orientation of the laptop. So I'm gonna write, hey, please download the photo I pasted in the attachment, as this photo would be the perfect thumbnail. Okay, you can just add stuff like that, and then finally click on save. Okay, then let's say me being a person, I'm just gonna come here, see this photo, I'm like, hey, okay, that's a nice photo. I'm gonna open it in a new tab and right click on it, save image as, and there you go, the image has been downloaded. So pretty simple stuff, isn't it? I'm gonna close this, close the photos and everything. And once you do that, you can also move your card. Okay, so obviously when we've talked about attachments, you're gonna come here and you're gonna move your card. So let's say you want to move your card, even though, like, I don't know why someone would do this, because moving your card over here is just so simple. Click it, grab it, and move it around just so. But if you want to, you could just move it over here. Yeah. Now comes copying a card. Copying a card is also pretty simple, because it's a necessity, because in some cases a lot of cards on your Trello board have a lot of similar, you could say, features and things written in it. So yeah, it's pretty necessary to have the copy feature and know how the copy feature actually works. So again, make sure to have a good idea of this. And once you do that, let's say you're going to copy the card, click on create card, and once you click on create card and everything, obviously it's going to copy that card, and it's going to create a whole card of the same viewing and the same look. So yeah, pretty simple, pretty nice and cool stuff to actually have for your Trello. And again, I recommend using this to your fullest. I recommend using this as much as you can, because yes, as I stated, you could say copying your card again can be pretty useful. Now, once we've actually discussed about how you can copy your card and how copying your card is actually pretty simple, you can also see other stuff like make template. Okay, make template is basically you're gonna make this card a template, and you could use this card further on with other parts of your editorial sequences as well. Now, pretty simple stuff, simplistic stuff. Then you have archive. Okay, again, as I told you, you can archive this. Now further on, what you can do, like once we've discussed about all of this, as you can see, by the way, I forgot to show you, here we have the copy that we've created. Now let's go ahead and discuss how you can use Trello power-ups. Okay, now what are power-ups and why are they so necessary? Trello power-ups are basically your basic power-ups that you could say allow you to do a much complex task in a much simpler way, okay? And what exactly does that mean? Basically, what that means is, for example, if there's a very, difficult task that you want to do in like the matter of seconds, power-ups is something that you can use pretty, accordingly and pretty easily. Now, to use power-ups, you're going to come up here where it says power-ups, as so. And once you go in power-ups here, you can see bring additional features to your board and integrate apps like Google Drive, Slack, and more. So, basically power-ups are an integration. And once you do that, we're going to come over here, and here we can see featured power-ups. So first of all, like the most famous power-ups are, things like, the basic Slack, board workflow, Pulse, demote a card, Epic Card, Scramble, Assista, Personas, email to board, Gmail, Microsoft Teams, Drive, list limits, README, Slack, many others. So, pretty simple stuff, pretty nice stuff to have for yourself. And you can also see the ones that are personally made by Trello. And the ones personally made by Trello also have great features. Okay, you have stuff going on like GitHub, Giphy, MailChimp, OneDrive, Slack, Salesforce, Twitter, Loading, Zendesk, just a whole lot more. So, yeah, pretty easy and pretty simple stuff to, actually get your head behind. And let's say we're in Loading over here. And in Loading, let's say if we click on this, what features does it bring to you? So, the voting power-up for Trello lets you collect votes on Trello cards from your team, customers, and community, making it easy to prioritize your cards. Whether you are organizing a vacation with your friends, planning next week's sprint, or crowdsourcing input from your users on a public roadmap, use the voting power-up to see in a glance what cards have the most votes across your entire board. And you can see that it allows board, workspace, or public members of Trello to vote on cards. Vote tallies display as card badges or on the front of cards. See which members voted on cards to make follow-up a cinch. The voting power-up is supported on the web and iOS and Android mobile devices. And obviously you can vote in compliance. And it looks somewhat like this, adding feedbacks, choose what's next, and, all this stuff over here. So to add it, all you're going to do is you're going to click on add, and then you're going to go in settings. You can edit the power-up settings, who is allowed to vote on cards. You can choose this. So, it could be members, admins, and board members can vote. Members and observers, admin, board members, and observers can vote. Workspace members, where admins, board members, observers, and workspace members can vote. And then you have public members, where any Trello user can properly vote. So should vote counts be visible? You can hide vote counts, while enabled members of board will only see their own votes on the cards. So yeah, again, pretty simplistic and pretty easy stuff. Now, moving on, let's say we've added this to our cards, okay? You're going to come here, let's say 10 tips for Trello, we're going to come here, and obviously you can set a vote. So here we have it, there's the vote feature. You can just click on it and look at that, they voted. And you could obviously keep something in the description that, hey guys, this is an idea that I've been working on, and whoever's in the favor of it, they can vote for it. Whoever isn't, they can write down in the comments that they're not in the favor of it, and they also can write the reason why they're not in the favor of it. So, this is what voting is, and voting just, it keeps a nice environment in the workspace. Everyone's opinions are heard out, and everyone's opinions are respected. So yeah, pretty nice and easy stuff, again, for your page and your page's workings and integrations. Now, obviously moving on, we're going to move on to automation rules in Trello. Okay, now what are automation rules and why are we going to be talking about it? Let's get into the depths of it. So automation rules are basically your basic rules of automation, where you can create rules that automatically respond to action schedules or a card's due date. It's your basic buttons where you can create custom buttons on the back of every card or at the top of the board and all of that. So we're going to come here on automation as so. Obviously in most cases automation will only be available if you verify yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and verify my email. And obviously you have to make sure that you verify yourself too, because if you're not verified, then automation will be a bit difficult for you because they won't allow you to do it. So we're going to come here, and once we come here, I'm just going to go ahead and add a random name, create a password for myself, and yeah, once we do that, click on sign up, choose the traffic lights and everything, choose whatever they give you. And once you're done with that, and once you've properly verified yourself and everything, yeah, you're just going to be good to go. And it's really simple to actually get your head behind all of this, because it's pretty, like, you could say, easy to authorize yourself with all of this, pretty easy to verify. Like, you don't have to give a phone number or anything like the other programs. And as you can see, even on this tab, automatically it finds out that, okay, this user has verified themselves. So over here, obviously you can do more stuff. So finally, we can go in automation and look at over here. So rules. Create rules that automatically respond to action schedules or a card's due date. Create custom buttons on the back of every card or at the top of the board. You have email reports, where you can set up email reports such as weekly summary of all cards that are due within 7 days. And you can also send feedback, where you can help them improve your automation. So let's go ahead and discuss this, okay? So firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to discuss about, creating rules and everything. So when it comes to creating rules, again, as it says, create rules that automatically respond to action schedules or cards due date. Now that's your basic automation. Now, like, even if I were to discuss an automation with an example, an automation is basically a trigger that triggers an action. So let's say if I were on a Nike store, and on their Nike store, let's say I bought a shoe. I bought a product from a Nike store. Now from the Nike store, I'm going to get an email, okay? Like, most of you probably know this if you've ordered, any type of product or clothing from any type of store. You know that as soon as you place an order, you get a notification that, hey, you just ordered from our store. Please confirm this is you. If it is, we're sending the order right away. So, that's what an automation does for you. So basically, automation is an extra employee that you have by your side, but that extra employee isn't a human. It's, you could say, an automated bot. And that automated bot is going to do those things automatically for you. Like, you just have to tell it once, and it's going to do that further on. So let's go in with the rules. And over here, as you can see, you have the automation bot butler over here. And obviously, you have rules over here. So you can go ahead and create rules, turn your Trello board into an automation machine, create rules to have automation automatically react to your reactions on the board. Take productivity to the next level with simple when this, do that format. And here are some examples, because when a card is created in list, to do by me, and add steps checklist. When a card is moved to list, done by anyone, mark the due date as complete and remove all members from the card. And when I'm added to a card, set the due date in 5 working days and post a comment saying, I got this. How amazing is that? So those are basically your automations, and obviously that is something that we're going to be discussing right now. So what we're going to do to start creating a rule is we're going to come up here and click on create rule. And once you click on create rule, it says your automation doesn't have a trigger yet, select a trigger. So we're going to click on add a trigger. And once you do that, obviously you have different things to select triggers. You have card move, card changes, dates, checklist, card content, field, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead to dates. And once we're in dates, so you have different features over here. So when a due date is set on a card by me, now obviously you can change all of that, or you can also switch to card content if you want to. So when the name of a card starts with this, you can enter this, and then when a comment is this, then you can do this. Then you have fields also. So when all custom fields are completed, or when custom fields are dash, or all of, so basically it's things that you're gonna have to at the end decide for yourself, what are you going to go, what are you actually going to go ahead with, what style of or setting you actually want to, mess around with. So pretty simplistic stuff. Now, obviously, let's say I'm going to be in card move. When a card is added to the board by me, okay, when a card is added to list, let's say my list filming by anyone, okay, by anyone, for example. And when a card is archived by me, when a list is created by me, etc., etc. So there we go. We've created a trigger. Okay, when a card is added to the list filming. Let's go with this. there we have it. So there's a trigger. Now let's create an action. So when this trigger happens, what action is going to happen? So in the actions, you have different actions. You know, you have move, add, remove, dates, checklist, members, content, field, sort, cascade, gyro, Bitbucket, etc. So let's go ahead to members. In the members, obviously you have different things. So, you know, once the trigger happens, the member could join the card, you could subscribe to the card, you can add member to the card and all that, you know, pretty simplistic stuff. So let's say I'm going to go with add member, or, you know, go with any of these. I'm going to go with add member this to the card, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to click on save. Now once you click on save, obviously it gives you a modify code. When a card is added to the list filming by anyone, add member this to the card. And you're going to enable this on the board, and once it's done, like, let's go back out over here, and let's say this is a random board, you know, let's say ideas added to filming as so, and we're going to come here and look at that. It's going to add me over here automatically. And let's say right now, you know, nothing is added over here. Let's go over here. Let's wait 2 to 3 seconds and look at this. It added me as a member automatically. So yes, automatically, which means it's automated. It automatically did all those things for me. So how cool is that? How amazing is that? And obviously moving further on, there's other button automations as well. So let's say I'm going to go here and we have buttons. Okay, so create custom buttons on the back of every card or at the top of the board. So I'm going to click on that. And once I click on that, it's going to open this for me. So Trello cards your way. Create custom buttons that appear right on the back of every card. Perform the actions you do most often with just one click. Here are some examples. So assign me to join the card, add the yellow in progress label, and add an empty checklist name to do the card. Complete, move the card to list done, and remove the card's due date, send to reviewer, add member, etc., etc. You know, basic stuff. So let's go ahead and create a custom button for ourselves. Okay, let's do the custom button stuff. So what you're going to want to do from here is, you know, once we're over here, you have the title button name, and we're going to start with this. So in button name, you could, you know, go ahead and write any custom button name that you want to. For example, let's say it would be a good card button name. Let's say send to filming. Okay, just as an example, send to filming. And then you could keep an icon for it, just as an example. I'm going to go with this lightning bolt. And once you do that, let's go ahead and add an action. So once you go and add an action, you know, have the same things that we had before, you know, move, add, dates, checklist, members, content, field, sort, cascade, etc., etc. I'm going to go ahead with members. And, you know, obviously, this is just a singular action. So let's first of all go with move the card to the top of the list. Let's go with filming. Do that. Okay, now you're going to add another action. So you're going to go on member, or you can go on content. And once you go on content, obviously you can add different stuff in the card descriptions. Like, you know, you can set the card description to new automation, you know, as an example. And once you do that, post up comment like hi, new comment time, just as an example, you know. And let's say I'm going to go with new automation. I'm going to do that. And look at that. Move the card top of the list, set the card's description to new automation. And once you do that, click on save. And once you click on save, basically from there on out, as you can see, move the card to the top of the list filming and set the card's description to new automation. You can, you know, make sure that these are enabled. You know, enable on this board, enable on all boards means that obviously all the workspaces you have, it's going to be enabled there. But yeah, once this button is created, what you're going to do is obviously when something goes from this to filming, like let's say it's in editing, filming. So it's over here. Here's the button, automation, sent to filming. And once you click on that, it's going to be sent to filming. And obviously, you're going to go in the description and look at that. New automation. So how cool is that? You know, that is the exact automation that we kept. And obviously, it gave us the exact outcome. So, you know, pretty cool stuff. Pretty nice stuff to have for your page. And, you know, I'd recommend that like you start doing this as much and as quickly as you want it to be. And, you know, pretty simplistic stuff, pretty basic stuff to have for your page. And, you know, just good fun to have. Now, moving on out, what you can do, like, once the description and everything is there, let's go in editing as well. So let's say we want to move editing. So we're going to go on send to filming. And once you do that, close this. Look at that. Editing just went to filming. We're going to do this for this as well. Send to filming. Once you do that, look at that. It's gone to filming. Come here. Look at the description. New automation. So, those are basically your automation buttons. And, again, a pretty great, simplistic, and amazing feature to have. Then obviously comes your filters. Okay, the filters in your Trello board are also pretty necessary. We're going to come here in filters. And once you're in filters, obviously you can go ahead and enter keywords for yourself. And filters are also necessary. Like you could, enter keywords to actually bring something out. So I'm going to enter a keyword. Let's go with new. Let's just write new. And once you write new, obviously it's gonna find something related to new in these cards. So let's enter this out. And you have all these filters down here that you can see different stuff from. You have different cards assigned, due dates, labels, and all that stuff. So those are your filters, and again, these are pretty necessary and pretty important things to have by your side when it comes to actually having a good running work management program. Now, moving further on, what you can do more is obviously, let's say we're going to create a new board where we're going to create another board. So to create another board, you're just going to go on create and click on create board. And I'm just going to give it a random title. Once you do that, click on create. And once you click on create, here we have another board. So let's say I'm going to add Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and then we're going to call this one complete. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So now, as you can see, once we've created these cards, let's start adding, once we've created these lists, let's start adding some cards in them. So first of all, let's add a card. Like this is like, a goal. So reach 100,000 subs. Okay. And then you can add another, like start YouTube ads. Okay. And you could add more, like complete website. Okay. And just keep adding more. And then obviously once you've added more, you could just swap them out, swap them around, send this one here, send this one here, send this one here, and so on. Pretty simple stuff. So you can like keep goals, and for those goals you can make different things. And then okay, let's say once you've created this, let's go ahead and let's say schedule. Let's call this one schedule. Let's go ahead and create a schedule for ourselves. So let's say this one is Monday. This one's Tuesday. This one here is Wednesday. This one, let's call it Thursday. Okay, Friday. Let's call this one weekend. Once those is done, then okay, let's say we have Monday over here, and in Monday, let's go ahead and add cards like morning routine, task 1, task 2, task 3. Okay. And once you add these things, let's say this is your morning routine, right? And in the morning routine, you open it up and you create a checklist for yourself. Okay, and in the checklist, you can write stuff like, you could have a whole workout for yourself, drink water, etc., etc. And, just keep on adding more cards accordingly to whatever tasks you want to fulfill. And yeah, according to that, then just switch around the tasks. Like, let's say once you're done for Monday, you can switch the tasks into, let's say, Tuesday, and once you're done with Tuesday, you can switch it to Wednesday. And obviously, once you keep switching tasks, the checklist will reset because, it senses that, okay, the card has been changed, so maybe the routine will change, or maybe the action or the timing of everything, maybe that will change and all that. So, pretty basic stuff. So you can actually, do all of this and use Trello to, fully plan your day. You can make deadlines for yourself, okay? That's also a pretty good way, because keeping deadlines and keeping, goals for yourself is a good way to optimize your life and get it going correctly. So yeah, pretty good thing to have. And then obviously moving on, you can do more things like adding more tasks. You can add more days, weeks, etc. Completed tasks, you can do that. And then obviously, again, make templates of this. You can archive this, set dates, set list, attachment, cover, custom field, etc., etc. Move these around accordingly if you want to. You move these above each other, under each other. Again, pretty simplistic stuff, pretty basic stuff to have for your page. And then obviously, this is obviously your daily goals, you could say, daily schedule, daily tasks, daily routine. Then you can also keep a weekly, okay? And in the weekly, you could do the same, keep weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 for a specific month. So it could be January weekly goals, and in those weekly goals, just keep the 4 weeks of January. And then the same way, you could have monthly goals and all that. Pretty simple stuff. And, that could be assumed as a roadmap, okay? Now, I hope you know what a roadmap is. A roadmap is, something you set yourself for your, daily routine. You could set it for your, main schedule of every day, how your life actually works in and out. And, you could keep the in progress, like, the same way you do for workload management. You could do the same thing for this, requested features, in progress, completed features, all that. So again, pretty simplistic stuff. And once you've understood that, let's now talk about the different views that Trello brings you. One of the best things about Trello is its variety of views, okay? Now this view that you can see, this is a board view. And what board is this? Obviously there's different boards. This is a Kanban board, okay? And Kanban board is, you could say, like, I guess this is the most famous and the most used view, the most popular view when it comes to work management programs, because the Kanban or the board view specifically is designed for ease of use, like, ease of use as in you could, move these around pretty simply. So, a pretty basic view of how you can move things around. And to see the different views, obviously, as I told you, you're going to come here, click on board. You're going to come here. Look at this. You have different views. Now, again, these views are locked for me because I am on the free plan, on the $0 plan. In the $0 plan, you don't really get a lot of things. So obviously, you're going to have to work with this bit, but you could start a free trial and see how these views actually work for you. And trust me, every single view has their own discrete set of features, and those discrete set of features work wonders, okay? Like, this is the board view that we have for ourselves, okay? The board view, again, the Kanban view, ease of use, very easy to migrate tasks from one list to another. Then you have the table view. In the table view, obviously, you have a whole table, and in that whole table, basically, you're allowed the freedom of, sending tasks here and there, and just messing around with it as much as you like. Then you have the calendar view, and in the calendar view, obviously, you have more variety of things to discuss and work with. Timeline view, in the timeline view, and calendar and timeline view are pretty similar in the retrospect because they both show dates. And the difference between calendar and timeline view is that the calendar view actually provides you with you can integrate it with your Google Calendar, sync it with that, and according to that, it gives you, the dates and what, like, if you're occupied at some date, you could, skip that day and keep another day for a task, etc., etc. Then you have the timeline view, and in the timeline view, it's basically, a basic chart, a basic graph that you can go forward or behind. Then you have dashboard. Okay, your dashboard view is your basic, like any, you have softwares like Monday.com, etc. So you could use any of those to actually have a good timeline, and you could obviously use a proper timeline to follow the right procedures for your page and all that stuff. So obviously I can't show you any of these views right now because I'm on the free plan, but you could obviously check them out for yourself. Pretty easy to get behind them. And yeah, moving further on, you have the map view, and obviously the map view is the view which this is like not used a lot because the map view just gives you a map outlook of wherever your business lies or wherever your task needs to be done. So not too widely used, not too famous, but hey, you can go ahead and use it if you think that it's going to be better for you. So please do go on ahead. If it works, like if you think it's going to work for you, please do go on ahead and use it straight away. And then obviously moving further on, you have the different settings for Trello. And how do you access the settings? You're going to come here. And once you go in settings, you're going to come right here, click on that. And here you can see you open up proper settings for yourself. So, as you can see, pretty good set of settings, pretty good, helpful things that can, again, make your page run pretty well. So first of all, you have the profile and visibility. Okay, this is your personal information. You can manage it all from here with your username, bio, all the things that are going to tell your workspace members and people who you actually work with. Tells them about you, it tells them what you do, how you do it, etc. Then obviously you have more reviews and product details that you can, show people about yourself. You have activity, and obviously in the activity section, as it says, you can see the activity going on in your workspace. So as you can see, these are all the things that I did, adding these photos, adding all the different cards and stuff. So that's basically your activity, and obviously you're like the owner of this workspace, so nothing obviously goes on a blind side by you. Like nothing stays hidden from you because you can see what goes on. So if like anything goes wrong, you can come in activity and check what went wrong, what time it went wrong, and who did it. Who actually did the issue that has aroused. Then there's card. Okay, you can see all the cards in a short view. Okay, you can see all the cards. You can't change them or anything, but you can see them in like a small view over here. And once you click on them, it's going to open it for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead back to the settings and show you. You know what? Yeah, there's not a lot when it comes to settings. You have shortcuts as well as managing your account. For managing your account, obviously it takes you to an external website where you can do that. But yeah, pretty simple stuff. Now, moving on, I guess that's all there is when it comes to discussing the main things of Trello. So if I were to give you a brief overview once again, Trello. Spreadsheets, emails, and never-ending notifications are a major teamwork blocker that affect today's business teams, no matter what their size. Project assignments, tasks, and daily to-dos get lost, transparency gets trumped, and people lose productivity in the shuffle. Not only do teams need to manage this constant overflow, but they also need to build projects, track progress, and achieve major business goals. What's needed is a proper, clear view of the entire process to keep everyone on the same page. So, Trello is a visual collaboration tool that you can see creates a shared perspective for your team on any project in a fun, flexible, and rewarding way. Trello is absolutely for everyone from sales and marketing to HR and operations. Teams can be designed and customized Trello to fit their unique needs and work styles. And with over 100 plus integrations with other key tools like Google Drive, Slack, Jira, and more, Trello is a living, breathing project hub of cross-team collaboration. No matter where you work needs to happen. Intuitively pretty simple. You can go from idea to action in seconds. Trello's core features are as relatable in organizing sticky notes on a wall. There's no cumbersome onboarding process to get started, so getting group participation is pretty easy. Log in, join a team, and see progress across all the team's projects right away. You can take the work out of work. Trello brings joy to your teamwork by making it transparent and easily shareable across boards and teams. Users are extremely empowered to make Trello their own and have fun while doing it. With features like board backgrounds, emoji reactions, and stickers, it's trusted by millions. Trello-powered teams all around the world. Explore which option is right for you. You have the free, which is for individuals and teams looking to be more productive. It's $0, totally free, and anyone can sign up with it at any time, just like me, the way I've done it. Then obviously you have the standard, which is for teams that need to manage more work and skill collaboration. And you have the premium, which is for teams that need to track multiple projects and visualize work in a variety of ways, which is best for teams up to 100. And then you have enterprise, which is for companies that need to connect work across teams and enhance organizational-wide control, security, and support. Ideal for organizations with 100 plus members. Okay, now obviously you have different Trello pricings that you can see for yourself. Pretty simple stuff. And Trello is compared to a lot of things like big boys out there like Asana, Rike, Monday.com, Smartsheet, Basecamp. But in my opinion, when it comes to ease of use, I'd say Trello is amazing. It gives you amazing ease of use, and I'd recommend you start using it right away. Right now and right away, because it's so simple, it's so easy, and it's great to work with. and even like all the features of Trello, like, creation and assignments, due dates, task prioritizations, to-do lists, dependencies, drag and drop, recurring tasks. It's all amazing with, your project planning, project map. You have task creation, assignments, due dates, drag and drops, task prioritization, and, recurring tasks, all these amazing things. Now, all those features work extremely well, and like most of them I even showed you over here. And all the boards you create, you can create them over here. As you can see, pretty amazing stuff. In your dashboard, they're visible, and you can work with them anytime, anywhere, anyhow. So, pretty simple, pretty fun stuff to, have with your Trello page. So, yeah, that's basically about it when it comes to talking about Trello. Now, if you found this video informational, please do drop down a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will make more for you. And if you have any issue, or if I left anything out for you in this video, please let me know that as well, and I'll fulfill it for you in the comments. But yeah, until then, drop down a like, subscribe to the channel, share this video around with anyone in need. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching till the end. That's all from me, and I will be seeing all of you next time. Keep having an incredible day. Goodbye.